Okay, today we're going to talk about personification. Um, the personification is a non-human given human characteristics. Now, if we go see like Mother Nature, there is really no mother. It's just a personification of nature, Mother Nature. The same thing with Grim Reaper. It's the personification of death. Lady Luck or Fortuna, it's about the personification of luck. The same thing with Old Man Winter, which is the personification of winter, and Father Time, which is the personification of time. Now, let's go to our friends, our favorite subject, Lucifer. Lucifer is the personification of Venus because Venus has all the characteristics of Lucifer. I hope you're not a Luciferian because this is disappointing. You believe in Venus. As Venus rises and is present before sun rises, it is taking its place in heaven before God, which is God is light. And eventually it falls down to behind the horizon. In other words, looks like it's falling down to earth. And that's where they got this, they made up the story of Lucifer. But it's really the personification of Venus. Now let's go to Satan. Satan is the personification of Saturn, where we get the word Saturday, Shabbat, and also the word Satan. And the effigy of Satan, which comes from Saturn, is Capricorn, because it's associated to Saturn, and that's what they used so as to make our friend Satan, with the two horns, the two hooves, and a tail. And being the sixth planet, it's associated to the cube, because the cube has 6 sides, and is also associated to the star, the word magic and the Star of David here, which had different names in the past, and also there's a little hidden cube inside here. So 6, Saturn, Satan, and whatnot. All right, the personification of duality is Baphomet. All right, as you can see, he's pointing to a white as well as a black crescent moon. He has divergent as well as convergent, as crossing his legs on both sides, a hand up, a hand down. He has 3 fingers out, 3 fingers up, again 33. That signifies magic. And he has fire on top and water on the bottom. So there's a lot of things here. He's half man, half beast, and half woman. So whatever, coagulate and solve. This is the personification of duality. So we go to the word devil, which is an anagram of the word lived, as well as evil is an anagram of the word live. Which the devil tested Jesus for 40 days, 40 nights, whatever. That is associated to magic, 44, which is this symbol, also known as the Arabic, I think it's the Islamic star. But it's also the symbol of magic with a K, because if you add all this up, according to their position in the alphabet, equals 44, 44, a 4 equals the square. So 2 together, that's 44. Okay, we have a play on word. God is good. God is good because how can this? How was it going to say this? Well, in the beginning there was the Word, and inside the Word there was God. So which word are we talking about? The word good, because when you take off one of the O's, you have God. So God is good. And if you go look at the etymology, which I really suggest, of the word God, eventually it meant abundance. So, and whenever something wasn't explainable back in the past, they used to associate it to God. So let's say somebody was smart, oh, he has the mind of God, or whatever. He was fast, he has the speed of God. So anything they couldn't explain was associated to God. So that was one of their things. King Solomon comes from the understanding that Sol-O-Mon is associated to the sun and to the moon. Sol-Mon. So this can be found on top of the Kabbalah, the tree of this nonsense here, where you have a sun and a moon. So King Solomon. Why is he a king? Because the top of the tree is the crown. So that's why he's the king, King Solomon. It goes to the same thing for King David. King David reigned for 33 years. No surprise there. That's associated to the Star of David. But King David, 33, obviously on top of the tree. What do we have on top? It's the crown. So that's why he was king. So all this fantasy comes back to magic. Magic equals 33. If you put the alphanumeric positions, if you put the alphanumeric total of magic equals 33, 33 equals this symbol and equals magic. Okay, who is God? God is a circle. It's equal to 1. He's the one and only. All this is associated to the letter Aleph. All right, the hidden understanding that it's being the first letter and it only has one surface. It's associated to God. The circle is associated to God. He is a father. That's also associated to the first letter of the alphabet and the different, all the other definitions of the one and only. So he has no beginning and no end. That's because he's a circle. All right, and he's infinite because he's associated to pi. That's why you find pi in Genesis. And he's associated to geometry. He created heaven and earth. All that has to do with the Kabbalah, which created the tree, which is inside. And the bottom of the tree is earth, and the top of the tree where you see the sun and the moon is heaven. So it is the circle, and this is the fucking garden. Excuse my language. This is the garden, and it's also associated to the beast, which is 666. Anyways, the first circle doesn't count because it's supposed to be consciousness. I already explained that before. Then we have lots of things that start with G, like God, because it's the third level, Gimel. Gimel is very important in the Jewish alphabet, and it's also associated to G, where we have Genesis, God, government, and, well, these days, Google. Everything that can play with your mind. In other words, why does it play with your mind? Because it has to do with words. Gimel is associated to the letter C, which is also somehow associated to camel and throat. And where do you get the words? Through the throat. So the C and the G they came from the same place. So God is the Son as the Son is the Father. That nonsense comes from over there. Jesus, the J in front of Jesus, come from the Paleo-Hebrew, where this was the shepherd's staff, and you can see it in front of the word Jesus. So Jesus Christ has a meaning, but it's all a cipher. It's all hidden. And he is the Word. And that's right, he is the Word because he says, I am the Word. And other words, he's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the Aleph-Tav. He is the alphabet. He is the personification of the alphabet. And God is the personification of the circle as well as sacred geometry. So it takes geometry to create the alphabet. As you can see, lines and little circles and little half circles here. So it takes this and that. So the God is the Father and the Father is the Son, because the alphabet is composed of geometry as well as words. Ugh, Jesus. Anyways, all right, so we get to where this all starts from. This starts with this nonsense here. We have 11 at the bottom, which we have at the beginning of Genesis, and that's the beginning of your story. It comes from the Kabbalah. And yeah, I forgot to mention here somewhere around King Solomon, we had the 1 and the 2, which is associated to the circle and the moon, which also can be associated to the eye. As you can see, 1 angle, 2 angles, and 1 in the middle. Could be the evil eye, but the 12 is associated to the eye, and guess where we can find 12? In the 12 apostles, the 12 tribes of Israel, and the 12 Ayman inside of Islam. So all this is magic. Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, and for the Muslims, we have the 12 Imams, where we have inside the Kabbalah, we have this nonsense. You can actually make out a cube and a circle around it. So this was the inspiration of the Kaaba of Allah. And if you say it quickly, you get a phonetic duality, which is the Kabbalah. So all this, and you can see my friend, this guy, the personification of the alphabet, he's also here, which is the middle, and also Lamed, which is the King of Kings. So, and that's why he's the King of Kings, because as you can see the cross here, he is in, again, the crown of the tree. He died for 3 days and 3 nights, and after he resurrected, the whole story. It's a nice story, bro, but he's also the Aleph-Tav, which if you look at this and you understand where this came from, it came from witchcraft, and you can see, look at that, witchcraft. And here you have the Tav, which is infinite. You can go in all directions. It has different, what was I gonna say, different meanings, okay? Infinite, whatever. This here, it's finite. There's a space. In other words, it's a duality from forever to stuck in a space. You see the little triangle here? There's a space. So that's basically, that's your Aleph-Tav, which is your Jesus, which is your, that's where it all started from witchcraft, and that's about it. So Jesus is the personification of the Aleph-Tav, which is the alphabet. And we have magic, we have all this stuff, we got Baphomet, we got all kinds of stuff here. But it'd be nice that people stop following this nonsense. It's all made to control what you think. That's it, thank you.